morning. Before we begin, I have a couple quick announcements. So, first of all, I did not forget about rewarding some of you or a couple of you who finished the digital escape room for math last week. I remembered. So what I did was I picked two randoms that finished it all. And those two random people who will be rewarded are Jasmine and Elijah. So Jasmine has already picked her prize. Elijah, get at me. Let me know what you want. It can be a $5 gift card to Walmart, money on Fortnite, something delivered to you from Amazon, $5 or less. All right? Get at me. There's also one other person who will be rewarded this week. Every week from now on, I know it's only 2 more weeks after this one. That's sad. We are picking a student of the week. Ms. Hodges and I are picking a student of the week. Really, every teacher at Lovell is picking a student of the week. And this week's student was actually nominated by Ms. Hodges, and she told me, and I agreed. It is Yes Malin. Woo! And yeah, she's the student of the week. She completes all her work. She communicates. She's doing well. So she was student of the week, and she will also be rewarded. You could be next. Last announcement. I know I'm doing a lot of talking at first. Last announcement is that all morning conferences today will be canceled. I have a doctor's appointment, so yeah, I can't meet with anybody this morning.
You was at the club, bottoms up when I first met you. You was at the club, bottoms up when I first met you. You was at the club, bottoms up when I first met you.
Today we are subtracting fractions. So it's the same thing we've been doing the past 2 days, except instead of adding the numerators, we're subtracting them. We follow the same exact steps. The only difference is you subtract the numerators or the top number of the fraction instead of adding. So I'm going to show you how to do one, then you're going to try one, then I'm going to show you how to do another, and then you're going to try it, and then your exit slip. All right, so the first one we have is 3/9 minus 1/3. Okay, problem. They do not have the same denominator. So we have to make them have the same denominator. We have to create equivalent fractions so that they have the same denominator. Okay, I know my facts, but if you don't, you create a t-chart. And this is what it would look like. You create a t-chart for 9, and you create a t-chart for 3. Okay, I know 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18, and 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 1 is 3, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 times 3 is 9. Oh, look, right there. 9 is the first number they have in common. Yes, 27 is also a number that they would have in common, but it is not the first one. It's always best to use the first number that they have in common. You'll get the more simplified fraction. It'll just be better. Okay? And chances are you will only have to change one fraction if you find the smallest common denominator. And this is what I mean. 3/9 can stay the same because it already has 9 as the denominator. 1/3 we have to multiply times 3 to get 9. So I'm going to multiply the bottom times 9. Whatever I do to the bottom, I have to do to the top. Oops, I did not mean times 9. Times 3. And I'm sure Georgina caught that mistake right away. And she was planning on calling me out. All right, so times 3. So I can just bring down the 3/9, subtract. 1 times 3 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then we end up with a big fat 0/9, which is the same as 0. Because if you have 0/9, that means you have nothing left over. Weird one. All right, now, guess what? You're going to solve this one, and you're going to tell me the answer in the comments. You're going to tell me this answer and then another one coming up. Now, if you text me and ask me for help, I'll be happy to help you. I'm talking about like on the exit slips. Unless I check YouTube and you haven't commented, because I'm not going to help you if you haven't watched the YouTube video. And I'll know that you've watched the YouTube video if you've commented what I've asked you to comment. So, just a warning for you. If you're going to ask me for help, you have to watch the whole YouTube video and comment what I'm asking you to comment. So this is the first answer you are going to put in the comments. What is 10/15 minus 1/5? Okay, moving on. Now we're getting into mixed numbers and subtracting them, except this is not really a mixed number. It's a whole number minus a fraction, but it will be the same sort of idea. So I have 5 minus 9/10. This one is a little bit tricky, and that's why I wanted to model this one for you. In order to subtract this, we have to think about, okay, how many tenths are in 5 wholes? All right, well, I know that each whole has 10 tenths. So if I have 5 wholes, that would be 50 tenths. Because one whole is 10 tenths, and I have 5 of those. So 10 tenths plus 10 tenths plus 10 tenths plus 10 tenths plus 10 tenths is 50 tenths. There is another way to think about this problem, but I'll let you all who know how to problem solve figure that out, which I'm sure you have already. Okay, so now I just subtract, and I get right 41 tenths. But is that my final answer? No, I'm going to divide, because remember, this fraction bar is actually means divide. So 41 divided by 10 would be 4, because 10 times 4 is 40, with a remainder of 1, and my denominator stays the same. Now, the way I was able to do that just in my head, and I didn't have to draw out the big 7 dividing and make a t-chart, is because I know my facts. You can do these in your head if you know your facts. Learn your facts. Okay, this is the next problem that you are going to solve and write in the comments. So what is 6 1/9 minus 3/18? To solve this, you have to change that 6 1/9 into an improper fraction, Okay, so actually we can do that part together just so that you remember, even though we just did that yesterday and the day before. I'll be nice. Okay, 6 1/9 minus 3/18. Remember, to figure this out, you use MAD. You change this into an improper fraction. And I saw even somebody, they did like a circle so that they remember it starts here and it goes around. So MAD means multiply, add, and the denominator stays the same. So 6 times 9 is 54, plus one more is 55. 55 ninths minus 3/18. Now you should know what to do. You need to find that common denominator. Multiply the top and the bottom by whatever number you need to multiply so that they become common. And then you can subtract only the numerators. Write the answer in the comments. And now your exit slip. So, same idea. You're going to have to change each of these into an improper fraction. Multiply, add, the denominator stays the same. Find your common denominator and then subtract only the numerators. You only subtract the top number. Then you're going to put your answer in Canvas as always. If it's just asking you to upload a picture, upload a picture. If you can't, then you text me. Okay? And there is a chance that they want you to answer it as a mixed number. So if at the end you have an improper fraction, you have to change it back into a mixed number by dividing. Stay tuned for science.
Where'd you get that mask from?
Well, since we have to wear them and it makes it harder to breathe, this makes it a lot easier to breathe.
Cutting it?
Okay. In science, we're talking about mass and volume. Volume is the space it takes up, space it takes up, space it takes up. Volume is the space it takes up, and mass is the matter it contains. So I even have to sing that song at times to remember the difference between mass and volume. So mass, we can relate it to weight, even though it's not exactly weight, because when we talk about weight, we're talking about Earth's gravity, and mass is not always, we're not always talking about mass on Earth. Okay, so point is, we can think about mass like we think about weight. Same concept. Volume is how much space the object takes up. So, again, this is on Canvas. You have to observe the 3 different pan balances. You have to describe the mass and volume for each object. So, for example, I'm going to do pan balance number 1 with you. I can tell that these 2 objects have the same mass. I know they have the same mass because the pan balance is level, it's even, it's balanced. So that means they weigh, or they have the same mass. But, and that's a big but, the volume is different. This takes up more space than this tall cylinder. So the first shape has more volume, but they both have the same mass. And that's what you're doing for the remaining 2. You're saying whether they have the same mass, different mass, or whether they have the same volume, different volume. Then there will be, I think it's 5 or 4. Oh, okay. 4 multiple choice questions. This is for a grade. This is graded like a test grade in science. So please take your time. If you need to use Google to look it up because you don't have your science journal with you, look it up. It is for a grade. Volume is the space it takes up, space it takes up, space it takes up. Volume is the space it takes up, and mass is the matter it contains. And remember, gases are they're psychotic. We cannot contain them. Liquids are pretty chill. They have a definite volume, but not a definite shape. And solids, man, they have a definite everything. Alrighty, people, if you need my help, remember you can call me, text me, except in the morning. I will be at a doctor's appointment, so it might take me a little bit of time to respond to you in the morning, but I will be sure to respond to you when I am available. Love you guys. Have a great day.